without decay. Never thought it would be like this. It feels like I'm living inside a dream, but my mind tells me I'm lost in the crowd. Lost in the crowd. Lost in the crowd. Lost in the crowd. Now I know what it's like to be.
How has the music industry changed over the years?
Well, it's changed an awful lot. I mean, from when I started, we didn't have CDs or digital recordings at that point, and we didn't have the internet either. So it's changed a huge bunch in my career. For example, I've seen the CD knock the vinyl LP out of the market completely, and then the vinyl LP slowly creep back in. So watching that whole phase happen over the years has been sort of unique, to say the least. The internet changed everything, especially for the way musicians make money. It used to be you made a really good amount of money off of releasing albums because you could sell, you had the possibility of selling millions. And really the only people that sell that much physical product anymore are your really huge bands, and even then it's not as huge as it used to be. There's hardly anybody selling platinum anymore, and even in the huge bands market. And so that's changed an awful lot. You actually have to plan your career more around merchandise and doing live shows in order to make good money nowadays. And I mean, you can still make money on the physical sale, and thank goodness there's places in Europe, there's countries in Europe that are still primarily a physical type of buying public. Like in Germany, I think the percentage is like about 80% of music sales in Germany are actually physical sales. I mean, they're buying LPs or CDs, and then 20% is the download stuff and everything. Over here in the United States, it's totally different. And of course, here in the US, we have so many people. This is where a lot of money can be. You can get rich being a musician over here in the old days. But nowadays, it's questionable because the downloads don't pay near as well as the royalties off of physical sales do. So it's a challenge nowadays to be able to make money in the market and make it all work out together so that you can actually afford to be able to record albums and release them. But then again, you've got the technology that's gotten us to a stage now where just about anybody can record an album in their living room and on their computer, and because our technology is so with it now, and it's so advanced that it's everybody's coming out with stuff, and of course you got free downloads everywhere, and so it's really hard for people in the music market to make money nowadays, even the record labels, even the big record labels. But I do know that they're working on means to copyright protect digital audio software and everything, so that I think they're going to come up with a solution eventually, and it'll be back to where we might be able to safeguard our music enough that it won't be able to be bootlegged as easily, or maybe not at all. The technology is just so advanced. I mean, I grew up in a day when I was born, Sputnik went up, and we thought that was fancy shit. And here now, we're well beyond Star Trek. I mean, Star Trek was the first Star Trek episodes. We thought it was fantastic that they could communicate from the ship to the planet with their little flip phone thing, and Nowadays, we're past the flip phone. Now we're to the point where we're actually looking at each other when we're talking to each other. I mean, you and I could be doing that right now if we wanted to be, and from wherever across the world or whatever. And of course, we're beaming these signals off of satellites and shit. It's unheard of, man. Just about everything I grew up with that was science fiction is now science fact. And I mean, there's a few things that we're lacking yet, like the teleporter. Boy, that'd be nice. See, I wish they'd get that one fixed up really quick, because then I could just zap into shows and then zap back to my den. It'd be great. And and then they don't have that food processor figured out yet either, where you just tell it what you want and it's there. That'd be great. And then of course the holodeck. We gotta have a holodeck. That'd be the greatest source of entertainment. I'm pretty sure that's probably the first thing they'll figure out, because our society is an entertainment-driven society. So, but and there's proof of that now, that our society in America is an entertainment-driven society, because look at our presidential campaigns. It's it's obvious that we are entertainment-driven now, and nothing else, because the topics really have nothing to do with anything in this campaign, I don't think. So anyway, it's like a reality show.
Do you have any experiences with groupies?
Groupies, well, uh, I suppose. I mean, yeah, I suppose you could say I have over the years, but most of our fans are just really cool people nowadays. I don't think we really have groupies that much as we do people that actually really believe in believe that the music is doing them a favor somehow or another, and which is always cool. I'm always getting these stories from people that are saying that our music helped them get through hard times or whatever, and that's always touching. But I guess now, and I'm pretty old now, so maybe it's just that I'm not attractive to the young women anymore. But no, the groupies slowed down a little bit, and to tell you the truth, we really don't have time to mess around much on tour, even if we'd want to, because we're always hustling from one show to the next, and it's let's put it this way: they're not knocking my door down. But no, I guess back in the day, the answer would have been yes. There was a lot of that type of activity happening around the band back in the old days, but that was back when I was more concerned with, actually living the lifestyle of a rock star. And after a while, it became more important to concentrate on the music than it did concentrate on the other things of what you dream of when you're a kid, like sex, drugs, and, being praised as a guitar god or whatever. And after a while, it got to be more of a quest for excellence, and that's still going on. And just trying to hone the craft, you might say, trying to be as good as I can be. And that's just what I'm trying to head for at this point, and do as much as I can too, because I feel like if you've got anything to say, you might as well say it, and if you're going to say it, you might as well say it the best way you can. And I think music is the best way to deliver any message, and it's been really busy lately. I've got several projects in the works right now. Rick Fisher and I just finished an album together, one of the original drummers for Manilla Road, and it's should be coming out this next year. and also just finished a brand new Hellwell album where Randy Fox, also one of Manilla Road's drummers from the past, is the drummer in that band now. And just really proud of both of these albums. They sound freaking great. I mean, they're both definitely different than each other. I mean, the stuff I did with Rick was like more old school Manilla Road, and it really sounds, it's more based out of, you know, the hard rock and roll approach that we used to have. And the stuff that Randy did with us in the Hellwell band is just incredible. He's still just got really fantastic chops, you know, fantastic chops. And he shared some really great drumming with us on that project. And I believe that album's just, it's like, you know, just tons better than the first one. I like the first Hellwell album a lot, but this one is, I'm really proud of the compositions. I wrote the whole thing. And so, as he says, you know, rubbing his lapel with his fingers. Now, I'm really impressed with what we did on the Hellwell project, and it'll be coming out on High Roller Records this coming year as well. And then we're finishing up on a new Manilla Road album right now. And we just, Josh just quit the band after this last tour leg, and we've got a new bass player, Phil Ross, and he's just got one bass track left to finish at this moment, and then we'll be done with the recording of the album. And I've already started mixing on some of the songs, and they're sounding really dynamite. And I'm just really eager to get this one out too, and I'm pretty sure this one's going to be out on Golden Core again and Six Music, and that'll be coming out this coming year too, in 2017. So trying to make sure a lot of really cool shit happens for our 40th anniversary, basically. And I mean, even though Hellwell and I think we're going to call the band that Rick and I just did this project on, we're going to call it Riddle Master. And I think the name of the album is going to be Bring the Magic Down, I believe. But and you're the first one I've told that, so
Awesome, thank
don't
you.
know if that's don't even know if that's out there yet. I don't think it is. So so you get an exclusive there, buddy.
Awesome.
Anyway, it's, you know, it's been a lot of work here over the last couple of years getting ready for this next year, basically, and all the events that are going to take place. We're co-headlining the Keep It True Festival in Germany, which is already sold out, with Karathungal, or Sirathungal, however you say that. It depends on where you're from. And which would be great, because I remember trying to talk Tim Baker into putting the band back together and getting out on the road, you know, a couple of years back, and he just seemed like he was indignant on, you know, even giving it a shot back then. And luckily, Jarvis from Night Demon talked him into it, and I'm glad they're out there. It's cool to see them out there doing shit again. And yeah, we're going to be playing with them at the Keep It True, which will be just a lot of fun. And taking Randy Fox with us to do a special set, as well as Noity being there. And it's also the 30th anniversary of our album's release of Mystification. So we'll be doing almost all of the material from that album at that show with Randy. And I believe we're going to be doing a show here in Wichita before we do that, also in March. I think it's March 4th here in Wichita, Kansas. And that'll actually be sort of an intimate club show, which I think we'll do a bigger event maybe towards the last of the year, you know, for the city. But at this point, we're just going to kick off things with Randy, and that'll just be Randy playing with us at that point. But that'll be cool. We'll be doing that show with friends of ours that Joel Hesser and Miles Payday, who are the guitar players that used to have the band Dead Orchestra. And I think they were signed to Massacre Records back in the day, back in the 80s or 90s. And they've got a new band called Order of Magnitude, and we've seen them live, and they're pretty fun. So definitely heavy. And they're going to be opening up for us at that show. And I believe we're even going to have a film crew out here because we're sort of in the middle of filming a documentary. Breaker Films out of Oregon is doing some stuff with us, and believe they're going to be traveling with us a bit through our tours in 2017 and filming stuff so that we can put something together. I guess we've been around long enough. Somebody thinks that they need to document what the fuck's been happening.
Let's see. If somebody, a musician or a band, wanted to get the attention of a record company, what would be the best way of doing so?
Figuring out how to get millions of views on a YouTube thing, probably, I guess, would be about the best way nowadays. There's so many bands out there that are on YouTube. There's so many things. I guess one thing that I could say is if you really want to get signed, there's still advantages for being on a label, especially a label with good distribution, because there's still a lot of people out there that want the physical product. And I think that part of the industry is extremely important. And I think eventually here they're going to figure out how to copy protect the stuff digitally so that physical sales become a necessity again, and which will rejuvenate the music industry and rejuvenate the album label empire. Because right now, record labels are a lot weaker than they used to be in the day. And the thing that they do have the advantage of is they have the big promotion wheel going on for them, and they do still have the distro. And if you want to answer your question, if you want to really get the eyes of the labels right now at this time, the best thing to do is to have a finished product ready for them to do as little as they need, as little as necessary to be able to release the project. If you can hand them a release ready product, I'm not saying having it already pressed up, but I'm saying having it all recorded. Don't go to them with a shitty demo thinking that they're going to give you money to, hope they can turn you into something, because that's just not going to happen. It doesn't happen anymore. What happens nowadays is they look for bands that have enough going for them and enough following that it's worth their while to take the chance on being able to make money back off a physical product. So you have to already have, created something that they can work with and they don't have to spend a lot of money on. As long as they're just having to pour their money into the actual production of the albums and CDs and not necessarily, having to finance, the recording and the mastering and blah, blah, blah. They're going to be more interested, especially if it sounds good. Obviously, they're not going to mess with you if they don't like your music or if it's the wrong label, wrong style, or whatever. So you got to pay attention to who you're trying to get a hold of too. But in truth, nowadays, because of how many bands are out there and how many bands want a deal, I'd say if you could figure out how to get one of those songs on YouTube that just generates so many views that they can't ignore you, that's probably the best thing. Seriously, it sounds weird, but we're lucky because we've been around so long that we've got sort of a strengthened fan base that's always there for us. And we seem to be multiplying that fan base every year, which is extremely cool. Who would have ever guessed, you know? But I'm not complaining at all. And but for newcomers, man, it's got to be really tough right now. And I'm just really glad I'm not in that section, you know, that I'm not a newcomer. I'm glad I've got some stuff I can actually work with at this point, because, but even then, it's really difficult. I mean, we're still always looking for ways to climb further up the ladder, because, you know, I'm not what I would consider a huge success. I do consider myself successful, but that's because I rate success differently than a lot of people do. I don't rate success on how much money I've made doing this. I rate success on whether or not I've accomplished my goals. And my goals early on in life with the band were I'd just like to be able to put out, you know, a good number of albums, like 10 albums or whatever. Well, I'm way past that, you know. So I've had to reestablish my goals as I've gone on, and I keep on accomplishing these things no matter whether I get rich or not. And that maybe that's what I need to do. I just need to make one of my goals, I need to get rich. But because I didn't get rich off of it. I mean, I live okay. It's not like I'm starving or anything, and I'm not begging for money on the street corner like you know, Pastorius had to for a while, I guess. But
Jacob Pastorius?
Anyway, yeah, I guess at times he was like had his bass and a little amp on his, you know, around his neck, and standing out in the park playing, and, you know, just begging for money, I guess. And his story is pretty wild. Hey, there's a good documentary on that that I saw on I think it was Netflix or something like that. That the bass player for Metallica, Trujillo, he produced this documentary about Jaco Pastorius, and it's really good, and people should watch it. It's pretty cool. And I thought it was cool that, you know, Trujillo from Metallica would use his money to, you know, produce, you know, something like that. That's really cool, because I'm sure he knew that wasn't going to be something that would make him a lot of money in the long run. I think he did it out of the love for the guy, and I think that's pretty cool. So
awesome.
Bravo for him.
Yeah.
And it's a good documentary too. It's well worth the watch.
Yeah, I used to watch a lot of music documentaries back in the day, so I'll probably start doing that again and watch this documentary as well.
Under the stars, it's written in the cards, all the myths that bards have sung through history. The future's not so cold, just trust the ways of old. Magic can save the soul and set the spirit free. It's not just fantasy.